Good morning, dear colleagues. My name is Badanova A.Е. I'm an English language teacher at Nazarbayev Intellectual School of Chemistry and Biology in Atырау. Today I will be presenting you my online lesson. It is for grade 10. It is taught in term 4 and 10 for A, different ways of living, discussing whether money brings happiness, evaluating the benefits of living without money. This is a lesson where we practice language with content. Okay, let's start. Good morning, dear students. I'm very glad to see you today in our lesson. I hope you had a very good and relaxing holiday. We start our lesson today with our learning objectives. So, in our lesson today, you will be able to practice your speaking and listening skills. In our S3 learning objective, you will be able to learn how to explain and justify your own and others' point of view on a range of general and curricular topics. As part of your listening comprehension, you will be able to learn how to deduce meaning from context in unsupported extended talk on a wide range of general and curricular topics, including talk on a limited range of unfamiliar topics as well. So it's L6 learning objectives. For your L2 learning objectives, you will understand specific information in unsupported extended talk on a wide range of general and curricular topics, including talk on a limited range of unfamiliar topics. Do you have any questions so far about the learning objectives that we'll be covering today? Okay, if no, let's proceed. For our lesson objectives, today all students will be able to understand the topic and speak on the topic. Most students will be able to understand the topic and give own examples according to the topic. Some students will be able to understand the topic, give own examples, ask and give answer to several questions according to the content of the lesson, help peers to cope with the tasks, and also offer more analytical feedback to the class content, give examples to support their points and explain why. Okay, so see where you potentially could be, in which group you can potentially be in today's class, and we hope you will all be able to do the latter part that some students will be able to do. Okay, to guide us on where we are with our learning objectives, we have success criteria. So the students meet the learning objectives if they support their own opinion with 2 more examples or arguments, that is the S3 learning objectives. You will also have a gap fill and short answer exercise, and if you answer 8 out of 10, you will be able to understand the content of the video better, and that would be the achievement of your L2 learning objectives. And if we look at if you also can elaborate on speakers' arguments and state the benefits of living without money, support with examples, that would be your L6 learning objective. Okay, if we're ready to proceed, we'll go and start with our warm-up activity today. And think of this question first. What do you normally spend money on? Have 1 minute. Think, what do you normally spend money on? Okay, did you come up with your own idea? Did you have a look at what you normally spend your money? Whether it's something that you really need or something that you really want. Okay, now let's see what your classmates think about that as well. Walk around the class, mingle around the class, meet with your classmates and ask them this question. They already had time to think about that as well. So think about this question, ask it, and ask 2 more additional questions. Ask them to elaborate more on their answer. These are some hints. You can have this as an example. You can how often do you spend money on whatever you just answered? Why do you buy it? So state your reasons for that. Think of an alternative option. So could you spend money on something else instead? Yeah. Think of your own questions that you can ask, that you are interested to ask your classmates. So you have 5 minutes to mingle around the class and ask your classmates. Make notes on what your classmates answer. Okay. To help you with that, I will be walking around the class also to see what are the top answers that our students give. So in a few minutes time we get back and see what our opinions are. Okay. Now please take a seat, everyone. Get back to your seats, and I'll ask you to get your gadgets. There are also laptops ready for you that are connected to the internet. Go to this website www.govote.at and use this code 383615. Have you managed to get into this website? Do you have any difficulty getting onto this website? Okay. Did you use this code? Okay. Now, do you have this question appearing on the screen? Do you have the same what I have on my screen? What do you normally spend your money on? Here, we give you some suggestions. So these are the options. Favorite food. It's not something that you eat regularly. It's something that you really like eating, and you treat yourself with having a favorite food from time to time. Also, the new clothes. So you do have clothes at the moment, but you want to spend some money on some new clothes. So spring is coming, so it's for a spring-summer collection, or it's something that is very trendy at the moment, so something that you would like to have as new. Transportation, especially if you travel from home to school and you need to commute, whether you spend money on that, mostly on your travels. So if you like visiting and traveling around Kazakhstan, or maybe in the city, where do you normally go, and whether this is your priority on your to spend your money. You are all students, and you have books and CDs and online resources and many other things that would interest you. Do you spend money on that? So think about that as an option. Teenagers normally have very exciting hobbies, and see whether you can maybe spend money on your hobby. Parties as well is one of the options here. So if you are a party animal, or you like hanging out with your friends and be very social, you might spend your money on parties mostly. Okay, look at the medical insurance and medicine. It might be something that your parents normally buy, but think about that as well. And let's see what our opinion poll looks like. So choose one of these options. Please raise your hand if you managed to input your answer. Okay, we'll wait for one more student to finish, and then we can continue. Okay. After you all finished your inputting your answers, we'll see what our opinion poll looks like. And have a look now at your opinion poll and analyze what other students' preferences are. See what the overall tendency is in class, so what most of the students spend money on. Okay, does it agree with what answers you received through our mingling activity? Okay. Now the answers that you have just chosen are either something that you need or something that you want, and we call them needs and wants. Now, can you please fill in this table and put what you just answered in the survey on what your needs and wants are, and whether maybe for someone it can be a want, but for you it's a need. So classify them as per the first and the third column, so your needs and wants. Okay, you have 1 minute for that to input your needs and wants. Now also think of if you needed to substitute it with something, to give an alternative to it. So for instance, I have medical insurance as my need. This is very important for me. I want to stay healthy, but also in case of emergency, I know I can go to a doctor and have an appointment and have a medicine in place. What can I substitute it with? Is it possible to substitute medicine with something else? Okay, think about it and fill in this table. What is more essential for you? The needs or the wants? Can you really substitute it with something? Can you say no to some of your wants? Can you say no to some of your needs? Okay, think what is essential for you? What is more essential for your life? What is something that you wouldn't be able really to live without? Share with the partner next to you. Okay, now we differentiated what is a need for us, what is a want for us, whether we can substitute it or not, and what is so important and what is not so important, what is essential for life, what is not so essential for life. We've seen the tendency that we have in the class, what our classmates think about it, and now let's see what the next activity can offer. Okay, look at the title. Swallow, the man who quit money. What is quit? Do you know this word? What does it mean for you? Okay, who can give the answer? So what do you think, what is quit? Quit is something when you usually press the button when you play a video game. You quit, yeah? You finish. Okay? Quit also means that you forgive. You don't want to, you refuse to use it anymore. Yeah, so quit is when you no longer want to have something with it. So the man who said no to money, basically. Okay, Swallow is the name of the man that you see on the picture. Okay, look at the picture and think, what is this? What do you think of that man at the moment? And this is a BBC documentary on the man who basically said no to money, and Daniel Swallow is his name. So what is this video going to be about? Predict. Yeah, we understand the general ideas that he is the man who said no to money, but why? What is his lifestyle? Think about that. Also think, why would Daniel Swallow quit money? Why? What would be the reasons for that? It's not an easy thing to do. Maybe it's an easy thing to do. Okay. Talk to your partner, think about your predictions of what is this video going to be about and your potential reasons. Okay, you have 2 minutes for that to think and share. Okay, if you finished, now let's move on and we'll watch a video and a documentary. Your task at this moment is to define what is the video mainly about. So what is its main idea?
In the first year of the 21st century, a man standing by a highway in the middle of America pulled from his pocket his life savings, $30, laid it inside a phone booth and walked away. You know, I've known Daniel for 20 years before he gave up money. And then when he did give it up about 10 years ago, I heard about it and I just figured he was crazy. He said the money was an illusion, and I didn't really believe that. In 2008, though, after the economy collapsed and money just disappeared that we thought we had, I started to give him a second look, and I wondered, well, maybe he had a point, because if your house was worth $500,000 one day and then only $300,000 the next day, what happened to that $200,000? What was that money in the first place? Public debt soared to $8, $10, finally $13 trillion. He did not pay taxes or accept food stamps, welfare, or any other form of government handout. Instead, he set up house in caves in the Utah Canyonlands, where he forages mulberries and wild onions, scavenges roadkill raccoons and squirrels, pulls expired groceries from dumpsters, and is often fed by friends and strangers. He writes, "My philosophy is to use only what is freely given or discarded and what is already present and already running." And that's what drew me to Daniel, was here was someone who's saying, maybe I don't know what the solution is, but I'm going to disobey. So basically all three of these movements, left, right, and center, have come to the conclusion that our financial system is a big problem. It's so big that we can't control it, and in so many ways we feel enslaved by it. Worse, we feel powerless to change it. And then Daniel comes along and says, hey, you don't have to be part of the system. I've proven it. I've proven that you can survive and live abundantly for 12 years without using any money. And that just blows people away, and it inspires them, and it inspired me, which is the reason I wrote this book. The fact is, if everyone lived like the average American, the world would actually collapse much more quickly than if everyone lived like Suelo. But when Suelo comes along, why do we all say, hey, if everyone lived like you, this wouldn't work?
We can cultivate freely giving and freely receiving no matter what station of life we're in. That's our true nature, and it exists in everybody.
This is a book about a guy that chose to live like a myth. He chose to live like the heroes of the Bible, and that interests me. And of course, the desert is the perfect place for that, because that's where religions are born. I think for Daniel, the story has already sort of ended. He found a way to live that was meaningful, that he felt like he could live according to his heart and his beliefs, and he could find happiness. But he's not just sitting there on a hill becoming enlightened. He's really engaged with the world, and he wants to get his message across. He says he doesn't imagine everyone going to live in a cave, but he does imagine that money will become obsolete.
Okay, now we're back. So you just watched the BBC documentary. What is this video mainly about? What did you learn from this video? Okay, can we have some ideas? Okay, so you found it a bit difficult to get the main idea, and you would like to maybe some help. So have a look at this slide. Okay, what do you see? What do you see on this picture in the left-hand corner? Where is he at the moment? Is he in a house? Is he outside? What is he doing there? Is this the place where he normally lives? Or it's just he's traveling and he's just visiting this place? Okay. Why are these two backpackers there? Who are they? Why are they in the middle of the desert? Okay. What is the man doing over there in the dumpster? Is he looking for something? Or is he throwing away his trash? Okay. What are these berries for? Okay, can we have some more ideas now? So you've got some support. You've got some ideas to support your opinion. What do you think is this video mainly about? Okay, now thank you very much for your suggestions. Now let's see at this slide. So how does Suelo find food? So Suelo is a person who lives in a cave, right? How does he find food? So he said no to money, yeah? But there is some way that he needs to find food. How does he do that? Okay, so he forages mulberries and wild onions. He scavenges as well. He pulls groceries from dumpsters. What kind of groceries? Expired, okay. What else? Okay, so he pulls expired groceries from dumpsters. Okay. By friends and strangers, what is that? Okay, since he doesn't buy food, he doesn't have money for that, he is fed by his friends and strangers. Yeah? Okay. Now, you will be listening for this BBC documentary again. Now, for specific information. Okay? Think carefully, listen carefully, and then you'll have 10 questions to answer.
In the first year of the 21st century, a man standing by a highway in the middle of America pulled from his pocket his life savings, $30, laid it inside a phone booth, and walked away. You know, I've known Daniel for 20 years before he gave up money. And then when he did give it up about 10 years ago, I heard about it and I just figured he was crazy. He said the money was an illusion, and I didn't really believe that. In 2008, though, after the economy collapsed and money just disappeared that we thought we had, I started to give him a second look, and I wondered, well, maybe he had a point, because if your house was worth $500,000 one day and then only $300,000 the next day, what happened to that $200,000? What was that money in the first place? Public debt soared to $8, $10, finally $13 trillion. He did not pay taxes or accept food stamps, welfare, or any other form of government handout. Instead, he set up house in caves in the Utah Canyonlands, where he forages mulberries and wild onions, scavenges roadkill raccoons and squirrels, pulls expired groceries from dumpsters, and is often fed by friends and strangers. He writes, "My philosophy is to use only what is freely given or discarded and what is already present and already running." And that's what drew me to Daniel, was here was someone who's saying, you know, maybe I don't know what the solution is, but I'm going to disobey. So basically all three of these movements, left, right, and center, have come to the conclusion that our financial system is a big problem. It's so big that we can't control it, and in so many ways we feel enslaved by it. Worse, we feel powerless to change it. And then Daniel comes along and says, hey, you don't have to be part of the system. I've proven it. I've proven that you can survive and live abundantly for 12 years without using any money. And that just blows people away, and it inspires them, and it inspired me, which is the reason I wrote this book. The fact is, if everyone lived like the average American, the world would actually collapse much more quickly than if everyone lived like Suelo. But when Suelo comes along, why do we all say, hey, if everyone lived like you, this wouldn't work?
We can cultivate freely giving and freely receiving no matter what station of life we're in. That's our true nature, and it exists in everybody.
This is a book about a guy that chose to live like a myth. You know, he chose to live like the heroes of the Bible, and that interests me. And of course, the desert is the perfect place for that, because that's where religions are born. You know, I think for Daniel, the story has already sort of ended. I mean, he found a way to live that was meaningful, that he felt like he could live according to his heart and his beliefs, and he could find happiness. But he's not just sitting there on a hill becoming enlightened. He's really engaged with the world, and he wants to get his message across. You know, he says he doesn't imagine everyone going to live in a cave, but he does imagine that money will become obsolete.
Okay, now since you looked at this, you listened to this video for more specific information. These are the questions. There are 10 questions, gap fill and short answer questions. Just put a number in your notebook and then put the answer next to it. Okay. When did Daniel give up money? Okay. Remember the year, right? So when they ask you about when, you need to give the number of the year. Okay. Number 2, finish the sentence. Money is an... So it's the statement by Daniel Suelo. How much money did he leave in the phone booth? So what word we would be putting here? How much? Okay. Is it an adjective? Is it a number? Is it a noun? Think of that. Number 4. What did his friend think of his decision? So what was his opinion? What was their reaction? How did 2008, the year of 2008, change the narrator's perspective? Okay, what happened that year? Think of that as well. Number 6. What did Daniel choose to live in? What was his shelter? What was his house? And here's a question. Number 7. Name his food sources. We have done it previously. Okay, put this all in one list. Number 8 is Daniel Suelo's philosophy. My philosophy is to use only what is freely and discarded and what is already and already. Okay, think of that. So it's philosophy. It's one of the main ideas basically of this documentary. 9. What does he think will happen to money in the future? So that is this projection. That is his anticipation. Probably one of the reasons also why he said no to money. Okay. Number 10. What can cultivate freely giving and freely receiving? What station of life we're in, that's our true and it in everybody. Okay. Think of this specific information from the video that you have listened already twice and fill in the blanks and short answers, please. Okay, now since you have finished, exchange your answers with your partner. Yeah, and let's check the answers. So, when did Daniel give up money? What year was that? Yes, it was the year of 2000. Okay. Money is an illusion, correct? So it's something that doesn't really exist. It's something that we can just imagine we're having, but not necessarily we're having an illusion. That is that. It's something we cannot feel. Okay. How much money did he leave in the phone booth? Who remembers that? It's a very specific information. So how much money? How many dollars? Maybe it wasn't dollars, it was a different currency. Okay, yes, it's $30. Very good. What did his friend think of Daniel's decision? Okay, if you see someone who says no to money, what would you think? Yes, that you would think that he is crazy. Okay, how did 2008 change the narrator's perspective? What happened in 2008? Do you remember? Yeah, the economic crisis and devaluation of property made him consider Daniel's ideas that money was just an illusion. Yeah, that there is an example of how much money, how much the property cost before 2008 and how much after. Yeah. 6. What did Daniel choose to live in? So what were your ideas? And we have seen it in a picture. Yeah, the correct answer is a cave. What did name his food sources? What are his food sources? Discarded. It's something when someone just leaves and throws. Expired food. Wild onions. Roadkill. And gifts. Okay, something that is given by his friends. Okay. Number 8. My philosophy is to use only what is freely given. And discarded, and what is already present and already running. Okay. Number 9. What does he think will happen to money in the future? What is that specific word that was used? What is that adjective? It will be Very good. Obsolete. Yes. What is obsolete? It would be out of date. It wouldn't exist. Yeah. People will not be using it anymore. Okay. So in future, he thinks that money will not be existing. It will be obsolete. Okay. We can cultivate freely giving and freely receiving, no matter what station of life we are in. That's our true nature, and it exists in everybody. That's his statement. Okay, how many do you get correct? Okay, do you get 8 out of 10? Raise your hand. Very good. You achieved these learning objectives. Okay, anyone having less than that? Okay, you're working towards that. Now, we move to the final part of our lesson, and also to quite an important part of our lesson. Discussion. So you learned about wants and needs. You learned about why people choose to live without money. You have just watched a documentary. You got introduced to the philosophy of Daniel Suello. Okay, what do you think are the benefits of life without money? Get into groups of 3 now. You work with your partner very well throughout the lesson today. Now get into groups of 3. Share more ideas. What are the benefits of life without money? Are there really benefits of life without money? Does money bring happiness? Does it make people any happier? Is Suello no happier than before? What do you think about that? Okay. Can you think of other examples of moneyless living? Maybe your friends, relatives, people you know also chose this. Yeah? Can you think of these examples? What do you think? Is it okay to live this sort of life? Is it accepted? Is it normal? Is it accepted in our culture? Would you like to live a moneyless life? Are you ready to take this challenge? To leave this philosophy? Why? Give your reasons. Why not? Give your reasons. Share it with your classmates. Okay? You have 5 minutes for your discussion. Yeah? Share your ideas with your classmates. Okay, thank you very well, everyone, for participating in today's lessons. You did a very good job. We've covered all learning objectives today. Okay? See where you are at the moment according to success criteria. Yeah? And we'll see you on our next lesson on Friday. Okay? Dear colleagues, thank you very much for your attention, for your time, and we hope this lesson will be an idea for you to use in your classrooms. Thank you.